Nang dahil sa pandemic, you lost your job, you were told to bounce back quickly. Pero ang tanong, paano? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Here I am again for another learning topic. So if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe and let's learn things together. Pag-usapan natin kung paano bumangon, how to bounce back after a job loss. So ako naka 3-day work ako and marami din sa mga kaibigan ko, mga colleagues ko probably are on a reduced work. Yung iba talagang nawala ng trabaho, so the situation has really taken its toll on us and it's not going to be easy. So I'm going to speak out from my experience and from the things I know and from the things I advocate at work, which is to motivate people, to keep them moving, to enable them to cope up with the situation. According to recent data and researches that I've made, there's around 2.6 million Filipinos that are currently displaced either permanently or temporarily as of May 2020. Now the sad thing is, lalaki pa yung number na to. It probably will go up to 5 or even more than 5 million Filipinos unemployed in the next few months. In one way or the other, you might be affected by this current pandemic. As companies reduce their cost either on capital or operational expenses due to dwindling revenues, we need to be ready for the worst case scenario. I've been conducting training programs for our off-detailed staff, either being redundated or talagang na-terminate sa work nila. So supporting them along the way, we're conducting training programs on resume creation, on how to create your video resume, on how to ace your interview, and how to gain momentum in your job search. So what I'm going to share with you are the things that I also share with the people that I have in this session. So what do we need to do in order for us to cope up or to bounce back after a job loss? Okay, so number one that I always advocate, and I practice it myself as well, because during the time I know I'll be on a 3-day work, hindi ko alam kung anong magiging future state ng work ko, right? Do not over-internalize the loss. Over-internalizing things will not make the situation any less painful. So allow yourself a time to grieve. It's normal to feel sad, to feel angry about what happened, pero do not dwell on it too long. Know that your next course of action is to find a situation that's good for you beyond job search. Okay, what you have to do is to look for other things that will pacify your emotions, that will release your burdens, that will make you feel at least lighter. Because you know why? During this situation, it's so easy for us to get into this emotional state that will make us more depressed, more desperate, and get into a self-pity. And you don't want to get into that situation. Never over-internalize the loss. Okay. Number 2, do not let your job status define you, or do not let the situation define you. Ang daming nagsasabi na, dahil sa situation, nagkaganito sila. So these are locus of control. Meron tayong tinatawag na internal and external locus of control. If the person is more on the internal locus of control, lagi nilang iniisip kung anong gagawin. They think about it internally and what they can do, asking themselves how, what, when, where, who should I ask for help. People who are in the external locus of control most likely would blame the situation, right? The situation becomes a major factor ng pagsisisi. Imagine this as being in a relationship. A job loss is like losing someone in a relationship. When the relationship ends or when you lose that person, it's natural to feel hurt and it's painful. But if you have the will to move on, you can and you will move on, right? So just know this, we are in a pandemic and the economic forces are totally beyond our control. When people interpret the situation as a sign of personal failure, most likely it will be hard for them to bounce back after a sudden loss. But if you will interpret the situation as a circumstance that provides valuable opportunity for you to grow in self-awareness, to build your resilience, you will have a greater advantage. Now, begin to make your move back to the workforce faster. So first, update your resume. Highlight those experiences that are relevant for the kind of scope or work that you're looking for or that you're applying for. And maybe it's a good time for you because that's the first impression you give to your potential employer. They say that's the interview. No, it's not the interview. The time they receive your resume is the time you set this initial impression about your ability or you as a potential employee of the company. Second is to tap your network. There's a common notion or this adage that says your network is your net worth. And absolutely right, because research says 70% of successful employment are due to referral, or what we call word of mouth. So leverage on that. I'm speaking with my experience as well. I got referred by a friend and now I got this job with this company. So let people know that you're looking for a job. Ask your friends, ask your former colleagues if there's any opening at their current employer. So after doing that, it's about time for you to figure out what you can learn out from the situation. Upskill, train yourself, attend training programs that are free, and so that you can keep up and keep yourself abreast with new developments. One principle I learned from this is that in life, you need more than work. So, everyone has this something that they've always wanted to do, a time to decompress, a time to think of other ways to keep their sanity. Na importante din to kasi you are in a downtime. And when you are in a downtime, it's either you're using the time you have productively or unproductively. How do you explain a gap in employment? You don't want to answer nothing, right? You want to share something that is maybe interesting. So you have to turn your downtime into something that will have a compelling story to tell when you're being asked during an interview. Giving yourself a time to also review your finances takes you away from potential stress and anxiety because you think of how much resources do you need, how much do you really need for you to survive in the next weeks or so. Because your finances will inevitably be squeezed because you don't have a regular income. It may take you roughly a couple of months before you land into that job. Take some time to also review your finances. Now, the last one that I'm going to share with you should and must always be a given thing. To always have a positive state of mind. Whether it's pre or during your job search, always have a positive state of mind. Because you know why? There might be rejections along the way. You are applying for work, but expect that employers might reject you. That will trigger you to get into a depression or to get into disappointments and self-pity. You don't want to get into that situation. And based on my experience, I think it's difficult for us to decide on hiring someone who is not able to get over a job loss and super negative about the situation. People can sense it. The interviewers can sense that you are having a negative thought about the situation. Take the opportunity and focus on expressing your genuine interest with the job and not being pessimistic about your recent loss. Because remember, at the end of the day, a job loss could be an opportunity for personal growth to propel your next job search moving forward. And believe it or not, most employers are attracted to candidates or potential employees who stay positive, was able to survive and remain steadfast despite the job loss. And some extra things that I also want to share with you. Even during a loss, anyone can be happy. You can be happy. I can be happy. Everyone can be happy. Because happiness doesn't just come from the fact that you're successful at work. Just look around you. Happiness is about valuing what you have, not something that will come if you get a pay rise or a new job title. So be happy, and I wish you all the best in your job search. And if you survive this pandemic, consider yourself a hero because you did it not just for yourself, but for the people that depends on you. So there you go, guys. I hope you learned something out from it. If you think that this is something that will boost the morale of the people that have recently lost their job, please feel free to share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel. And again, let's learn things together.
Okay, subscribe.